In the late 1990s, Southeast Asia's story was a tale of two cities, Bangkok and Manila. These capitals, separated by just a few hours' flight, seemed worlds apart in their fortunes and futures. Bangkok dazzled with its booming economy, modern skyline, and global appeal. The city's glass towers and neon lights reflected a nation on the rise. Thailand was the region's tiger cub, a model of progress and ambition. Its streets buzzed with new energy, and the world took notice. Tourists and investors flocked to its malls and temples, seeing a city already living the future. International brands set up shop, and the city's nightlife and culture became magnets for visitors from every continent. Bangkok was a symbol of what Southeast Asia could become. Meanwhile, Manila struggled to keep pace. Its skyline was a patchwork, gleaming towers rising beside sprawling shantytowns. Poverty and congestion shadowed its growth, and the Philippines was labeled the sick man of Asia, a country weighed down by its own challenges. Political instability and economic stagnation kept the country in the underdog role. Corruption scandals and power struggles made headlines, and hope often felt in short supply. For many, progress seemed just out of reach. The numbers told the same story. Thailand's GDP soared, its industries advanced, and its exports filled ships bound for the world. In contrast, the Philippines lagged behind, its factories fewer, its ports less busy, its people searching for opportunities abroad. Few imagined Manila could ever outpace Bangkok. Analysts and experts predicted the gap would only widen, with Thailand racing ahead and the Philippines left behind. The odds seemed stacked, the narrative set. But national stories aren't set in stone, they're shaped by resilience and slow, quiet change. Beneath the surface, Manila's people were building, adapting, and refusing to give up. Every day, small victories accumulated, unnoticed by the world. While the world admired Bangkok's shine, Manila was forging a different kind of strength. In crowded markets and early morning commutes, a spirit of perseverance took root. The city's energy was raw, unpolished, but undeniably powerful. This grit, born from hardship, became the Philippines' most undervalued asset. It was a quiet determination, seen in the faces of workers, students, and families who refused to be defined by struggle alone. It laid the foundation for a transformation no one saw coming. As new buildings rose and new ideas took hold, Manila began to change, not with a bang, but with steady, relentless progress. The underdog was about to rewrite the script. In the shadows of adversity, Manila's true strength was quietly taking shape, ready to surprise the world and redefine what was possible for a city and a nation, once left behind. In 1997, the Asian financial crisis erupted, starting in Thailand. What began as a currency shock quickly spiraled into a regional catastrophe, sending shockwaves through the heart of Asia's booming economies. The world watched as the so-called Asian miracle was put to the ultimate test. The Thai baht collapsed almost overnight, losing its value and triggering a domino effect. Banks failed, businesses shuttered, and Bangkok's once thriving skyline froze in time, with cranes left hanging over half-finished towers. The economy unraveled at a breathtaking pace, leaving millions uncertain about their future. Thailand's economic miracle, once the envy of its neighbors, was exposed as fragile, built on a foundation of foreign debt, speculative investments, and risky financial practices. The rapid growth had masked deep vulnerabilities, and now, the cracks were impossible to ignore. The Philippines was hit too, as the crisis rippled across borders. But the damage here was less severe, and the country managed to avoid the worst of the storm. While anxiety filled the streets of Manila, the financial system held firm. Years of economic turbulence and political upheaval had made the Philippines more cautious, even wary. Its financial system, shaped by hard lessons from past crises, was more conservative and resilient than many realized. Philippine banks, scarred by previous financial shocks, operated under stricter regulations. They had less exposure to risky foreign loans and speculative bubbles, and their leaders prioritized stability over rapid expansion. This caution, once seen as a weakness, now became a shield. The country stumbled, but didn't fall. Filipino workers and entrepreneurs faced challenges, but their determination and adaptability helped keep the economy afloat. Small businesses weathered the storm, and the spirit of resilience was everywhere. For Thailand, the crisis was a deep wound. Confidence was shattered, and the nation was forced to confront painful truths. Sweeping reforms were introduced, from restructuring banks to overhauling regulations, as the country struggled to rebuild trust and stability. For the Philippines, the crisis was both a wake-up call and a validation. Its slower, steadier approach, often criticized in the past, proved to be a source of strength. The country realized that resilience and prudence could be just as valuable as rapid growth. The crisis leveled the playing field, narrowing the gap between neighbors. Suddenly, the Philippines had a window of opportunity. A chance to chart a new course, to learn from the mistakes of others, and to redefine its economic destiny. It was a chance to build an economy less dependent on volatile foreign capital, and more rooted in the strength and talent of its people. Teachers, farmers, nurses, and entrepreneurs became the backbone of a new vision for the nation's future. The tiger cub was wounded, forced to heal and adapt. Meanwhile, the underdog, the Philippines, was quietly gaining ground, fueled by hard-won lessons and a renewed sense of purpose. The destinies of both nations had begun to shift. The crisis didn't just change economies, it rewrote the stories of millions, setting Thailand and the Philippines on new divergent paths that would shape their futures for decades to come. Out of the crisis, a new industry quietly took root in the Philippines: business process outsourcing, or BPO. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, as the country faced economic uncertainty, a silent transformation was beginning to unfold. International companies, searching for ways to cut costs and improve efficiency, started looking beyond their borders for talent. The Philippines, with its large pool of educated English-speaking youth, quickly caught their attention. Call centers flourished, powered by a young English-proficient workforce with a neutral accent prized by global companies. Filipinos' cultural affinity with the West, combined with their adaptability and warmth, made them ideal for customer service roles. Training programs sprang up across the country, preparing thousands for jobs that required not just language skills, but empathy and professionalism. What began as a small experiment exploded into a 24/7 economic engine. Call centers operated around the clock, serving customers from the United States, Europe, and beyond. The industry's rapid growth created a new rhythm for city life, with night shifts and bustling offices becoming the norm. Office buildings buzzed with new jobs, offering young Filipinos stability and a path to the middle class. For many, these jobs meant more than just a paycheck. They offered hope, career advancement, and the chance to support families and dreams. The BPO boom rippled across the economy, fueling construction, retail, and professionalizing the workforce. New malls, restaurants, and housing developments sprang up to meet the needs of a growing urban population. The demand for skilled workers led to better training and higher standards across industries. Skills in customer service, IT, and data analysis became widespread. Young professionals gained valuable experience learning to navigate global business practices and technology. This new expertise began to shape the country's future workforce. The steady inflow of foreign currency stabilized the peso and strengthened national finances. The BPO sector became a vital source of revenue, helping the country weather economic storms and attract further investment. While Thailand rebuilt its factories, the Philippines built a service economy powered by people. The nation's greatest resource, its workforce, became the foundation for a new kind of prosperity, less dependent on traditional manufacturing. The BPO sector offered stability and consistent growth, less vulnerable to global shocks. Even during times of uncertainty, the industry continued to expand, providing reliable employment and economic resilience. The country's unlikely engine was now driving it forward. The transformation was visible everywhere, from the bright lights of the business districts to the optimism in the voices of its people. The world began to take notice. International investors, business leaders, and economists recognized the Philippines as a rising star in the global service industry, eager to tap into its talent and potential. Manila's quiet revolution was underway. The city, once defined by its challenges, was now a symbol of resilience and opportunity, leading the nation into a new era of growth and global relevance. Long before BPOs, the Philippines' economic lifeline was its people working abroad. Overseas, Filipino workers, nurses, engineers, seafarers, sent billions home each year. Remittances became a colossal force, funding essentials like food, education, and healthcare. This steady flow of money fueled a grassroots consumer economy, immune to global market swings. The balikbayan box filled with gifts and love symbolized sacrifice and family bonds across oceans. Economically, remittances acted as a decentralized, ongoing stimulus, stabilizing the peso and building up foreign reserves. While other countries worried about capital flight, the Philippines enjoyed a guaranteed inflow from its own people. This unique resilience was often overlooked by analysts. Remittances pumped life into communities nationwide. The steady heart of the economy beat in every balikbayan box. It was a foundation of stability that set the Philippines apart. The world underestimated its power. For years, the Philippines' biggest hurdle wasn't talent or resources, it was trust. Corruption and bureaucracy scared off investors, who preferred the stability of Thailand or Malaysia. But in the 2010s, reformers launched anti-corruption drives and streamlined government processes. High-profile cases sent a message impunity was ending. Gradually, perceptions shifted. Credit rating agencies upgraded the Philippines to investment grade, a historic milestone. Borrowing costs fell, and foreign investments surged. Global corporations, drawn by a young workforce and new stability, poured in capital. As Thailand faced its own political turmoil, the Philippines built a reputation for reform and reliability. Investor trust unlocked new growth. For decades, poor infrastructure held the Philippines back. Endless traffic, outdated airports, and isolated communities. Then came Build, 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 the most ambitious infrastructure push in the nation's history. Roads, bridges, railways, and airports sprang up across the archipelago. The goal: connect cities, boost trade, and make daily life easier. Construction became the new soundtrack of progress. Skyways slashed Manila's commute times, subways and new roads opened up the provinces. Upgraded ports and airports made the country a more efficient hub for trade and travel. The boom created hundreds of thousands of jobs and fueled local industries. For ordinary Filipinos, the changes were tangible: shorter commutes, better access, new opportunities. Progress was finally visible and real. The country was on the move. A modern foundation was being built for the future. The Philippines' greatest long-term asset is its youth. With a median age in the mid-20s, it boasts one of Asia's youngest populations. This demographic dividend means a growing workforce and a booming consumer market. Young Filipinos drive demand for tech, fashion, and entertainment, fueling domestic growth. Unlike Thailand's aging society, the Philippines is built for expansion. Investments in education have created a skilled, adaptable labor pool. From software to engineering, young talent is powering the new economy. Thailand faces labor shortages and slower growth. The Philippines is just hitting its stride. The energy and ambition of its youth are propelling the country forward. The future belongs to the young, and the Philippines is ready. Its demographic tailwind promises decades of momentum. No nation rises alone, alliances matter. The Philippines' balanced relationships with the US, Japan, China, and ASEAN neighbors, attracting investment and stability. The US provided security and trade, Japan funded major infrastructure projects. Ties with China brought investment, even as disputes were managed carefully. This multi-aligned approach created a geopolitical sweet spot. Strong alliances reassured investors and shielded the economy from shocks. Membership in ASEAN deepened regional integration. While Thailand faced political uncertainty, the Philippines projected reliability. Its global standing soared, making it a magnet for international capital. In 2024, the unthinkable happened. The Philippines surpassed Thailand in gross national income. The sick man of Asia had become Southeast Asia's new economic leader. It was more than a statistic. It was a symbol of decades of sacrifice and resilience. The call center agent, the OFW, the reformer, the builder, all had a hand in this victory. The world took notice. The narrative was rewritten. For Filipinos, it brought pride and hope, a quiet confidence in their future. Young people saw new opportunities at home. The lesson: progress is built slowly, brick by brick, through persistence and belief. The Philippine story proves the underdog can rise and lead. Its greatest resource was always its people. The race was won, not by speed but by resilience and heart.